What's up, relay friends? I'd like to report some bullying. Erika Kemp is rolling around New England, beating up us amateurs. Erika, how was it? We're 5 weeks out from the Boston Marathon. You decide, let's use, it's a classic New England event. I'm not always jealous of New England weather, but I'm jealous of the sort of lead up race series that builds to the 26.2. And I didn't know you were going to go beat up some of my friends, but congrats. Way to go.
First off, my bad.
No, you're good. You were rolling. I love the videos.
I had no idea New Bedford was like less than 30 minutes away from me until after I'd signed up for the race because my coach was like, it's nearby. You can tempo by yourself or
Mm.
you can come hang out with your entire team and like
Yeah.
do this half and like have some company. And I was like, you know what? Like that sounds significantly more appealing. But I'd always said I wouldn't do New Bedford because the weather is usually terrible. It's
Hmm.
March in New England. It's by the coast. So like it's breezy, it's cold, it's usually wet, but yesterday was gorgeous. I mean, it was like 40s and sunny, which I think is like scientifically the
There we
best
go.
possible running
Yeah.
conditions. It was a light breeze instead of a typical New England spring breeze, which is really strong. And I had the most fun out there. So yeah, it was definitely like my favorite long tempo of all time.
But we were
Yeah.
texting and I was like, you were texting us, we were texting about, what we're gonna talk about today. And then I'm like, wait a minute, did she just cross the finish line of this half marathon? Like she
I was
just won a
texting you
half
from
marathon.
the pub after the
Yeah.
race.
What up, team?
I was like, before I forget and like pass out when I get home, let me
Yeah.
send this message.
You did say it was the most fun you ever had in a half marathon or a tempo run or whatever. How tell us
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, first off, I've been like doing a lot of stuff solo just because of like the weather and scheduling things. So like it felt like spring was finally here because I've seen more of my people than I have in the last 3 months. So just
Mm-hmm.
even
Yes.
having all of my Rhode Island track club friends to warm up with was huge. I mean, we had like 13 people there and like they're all incredible. They all have such a good energy. So I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't realize how much like I missed this because we've all
Mm.
been like scattered over the winter." So like I was already having the best day ever just on the warm up. And then I like don't do a lot of like smaller road races. So like it was so funny for us trying to get to the start line and because we were just like, where is
Oh.
it? Like, what is the process? And like there is no process. You just kind of like
Show up.
hopefully find it on time. Um, but we did, and then we got to the start line, and, like, a lot of my teammates were, like, standing in the front and just straight aura farming because I was like, "Why do you look like this? Like, what is the look we're going for?" They were so funny, but I was also, like, couldn't decide if I wanted to wear, like, a tank top, a t-shirt, a long sleeve, and I'm like, "It's a workout, and for a workout, I would never think
Oh,
that hard. I just don't wanna be cold," so I wore a long sleeve, so then I show up on the start line with a long sleeve, and my teammates were like, "What is this?"
What
yeah.
is
And they
What's
were like,
going
happening?
on?
"Oh, you're just, like, making sure everyone knows you're really chill." So then
Hmm.
they were, like,
Casual.
giving me shit for, like, trying to be overly casual about this.
Were
You're
you
like,
so
just to be
hot
clear.
though? I feel like I would get hot in long sleeves.
No,
I
I, like
mean,
when I started to get a little warm, we kind of, like, went out by the water, and I knew there was gonna be kind of a chillier breeze, so I was really happy that I did roll my sleeves up a little bit towards the
Mm,
end, but
mhm.
I have no regrets.
No
I also
regrets.
love that long sleeve.
Oh my gosh, so
absolutely.
good. Who were
It
you
was
Yeah,
running
there's a
fun.
with?
universal rule. You have to wear either a t-shirt or a backwards baseball cap to communicate like, I'm not racing.
Right.
I'm taking this.
Yeah, I, like, thought about the backwards cap, but I didn't pack a hat that day. But yeah, I just ended up running with this guy, like, a couple miles in. We'd actually both been on the BAA together, like, a few years ago, so it wasn't, like,
Okay.
the
Oh,
very first time I'd ever met him, but he was so funny. We're, like, 2.5 miles in, he's running right alongside me, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna be a dick and, like, outkick you. I'm just gonna, like, run with you." And I was like, "I mean, feel free to, but, like, also love that for me."
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like, it was great. I told him, like, what I was trying to do, and he was like, "Cool." So then we're just, like, doing the thing, having a good time, like, chit-chatting, like, here and there, because they were just whenever you're, like, doing road races, there's always little funny moments, and, like, when
Yeah.
you're not doing an all-out effort, you can appreciate them more and, like, chat a little bit more because you're not totally gassed, which is really nice. So we had a few, like, fun moments, and then we get to, like, mile 6 or 7, and I told him I was gonna, like, tempo through 10 and then kind of, like, pick it up a little bit in the last 5K. And we're, like, kind of approaching 10, and he was like I'd asked him if he's running a spring marathon, and he was like, "I usually tap out around 10K race distance-wise, so today's kinda long for me." And I was like, "Okay," but, like, he seemed fine. But as we
Yeah.
got closer to 10, he's like, "I'm gonna go to 10 with you, and then I think I'm gonna drop back." And I was like, "Okay,
Oh.
thanks for the company." But I was like, he went way further than 10K, so I was, like, very appreciative of that company.
Oh, man. That makes it
But
fun.
then were you like, "I don't think you could have outkicked me
I
anyway, but
mean,
I'm glad you gave me that assurance."
No, he definitely, like, said it in jest, and
Yeah, yeah.
he was really funny. He kept the vibes, like, very light
Oh,
because
I love that.
I mean, it's New England. I've been here for, like, 6 I've been no, maybe 8, I don't know. I've been here since 2018. So, like,
okay.
I know a lot of people. A lot of people know my face, um, and there are definitely a lot of those little moments along the course because, like, it's not like my
Oh,
bib said my
yeah.
name, but there are a lot of, like, "Oh my god, Erica!" And
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was like, "What are you, the mayor?" And I was like, "No."
Of New Bedford. Yes, here we
Yeah.
are.
Well, probably people
Oh.
excited to see you that maybe didn't expect you to
I
be
got
at
a
a
lot
race
of,
like
like,
that.
"I didn't know you were here," and I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't tell you what I was here."
Right. Yeah. Nobody
But it was
knew.
really fun, yeah, and then after the race, I had it on my story yesterday, but when we were waiting for their awards press conference-y thing afterwards, one of the guys from the lead vehicle was like, "You look like you were having so much fun,"
Yeah,
and
he's
I could see them, like, every time I looked up at them, they were cracking up because, like, everyone was just, like, having a good time, but right towards the end, like, at mile 12, there's, like, a massive hill, um, like, in that 13th mile, it's, like, really long, which I wish I knew how long it was before I did
Oh.
that race, but it was good. It was good, like, mentally, physically, but still. I had friends at the bottom of that hill, and it was just 2 of them by themselves, like, screaming, and
Oh.
one of them had, like, a little confetti popper, but she couldn't get it to work, so it was
Oh,
just, like,
no.
this it was so funny and, like, embarrassing in, like, the best way, and it was just me, those 2 fighting for their lives with this confetti stick, and then, like, the lead vehicle absolutely losing it because they were like,
Love it.
"What is happening?"
So
It
good.
means the effort was the right zone too.
Yeah,
That's if
no,
fun
it
is
was
being
good.
had.
I had a
That's
great day.
excellent.
Well, and that hill's gonna be great for Boston.
Yeah.
Really pull from that.
Yeah, it was super fun. Vibes are good, body's good. I'd because, like, if I would've went to New York, it definitely wouldn't have been a very controlled, measured effort. They
Whew.
kinda went real hard from the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although they
It
probably I didn't listen to interviews, but I'm sure typically in those types of events, you race really hard and then turn around and go like, "Yeah, it was a good building effort for 5 weeks from now."
Yeah.
You know? Like, you have to
Yeah, I mean,
immediately
you say
spin
the
it.
same thing after even if you, like, went all
put up
out. You're like, "Yeah, I'm still building." It's like, well,
Yeah.
yes, but, like, every effort has a purpose.
Oh,
yeah.
man. I love Boston because of how just ridiculous it is. Like, Joe Klecker and Ryan Ford posted videos today of jogging on the course, and it just like there's ice on the curb, and then the wind is whipping, and I'm like, "Don't worry, 5 weeks from now, it'll probably be a little warm." Like,
Yeah.
you're you're
Never know.
seeing the course, quote unquote, but ugh, it just looked gross. So I'm glad you had a good one
Yeah.
yesterday. Um,
Joe Klecker, he had a good race in New York,
yeah, I'm
I
trying
right?
think
to
it was
figure out
solid.
solid. I just need to. I feel old because times are getting fast, and I'm like, that's a
Right.
really good time, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
wasn't he
temper.
just 60-15 or something? Like, really fast.
I know. I ended up looking up the course map, being like, wait a second. I know it's not record eligible because it's point to point, but it's not flat. Flat. It's hilly.
It's not
But
flat at all. I
yeah,
ran it
so I'm
once
like,
and was like, "Oh my god."
yeah. So it was definitively a good performance. I mean,
Yeah,
it's so competitive. I feel like New York's like,
Yeah, I don't even know what
right.
place he got. I just saw the time because Sage posted it in her stories, and I was like,
I mean, the
dang,
oh,
top, like,
that's
10 guys
fast.
were under 60, which is, like,
yeah.
absurd.
That is crazy
The fact that Grant ran 1 hour 53 and was like a disappointing performance. I mean, he faded to
for its
14th, and
debut. Yeah.
he's a world record holder in 2 mile. You're like, I was pretty pleased by it, just as like a.
I mean, that's a solid debut. He's like almost
Yeah,
under 60.
Did
I
he say
know.
he
I'm
was
like,
happy with it?
I did not consume a
Uh,
ton. He just said he learned some lessons, and it was,
yeah.
it was
He
hard.
definitely wasn't like over the moon about it.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think it's also tough when like you're someone like him who's such a good racer and used to like competing for like the win, like has a decent race, but then you're 14.
I mean, this is where there's the like there's the clock, but then the clock is getting warped by just advances in how much people are running fast.
Yeah.
And then you
Mhm.
have the people, because yeah, you look at the people who are on the podium and you're like, these are Olympians, but Grant's an Olympian. So then
Right.
I doubt he looks
An
at those
Olympic
people and is like,
medalist, not just an Olympian.
yeah, there's no way I could finish with them. So it gets really interesting. Adrian Welchut from NAZ,
Yeah.
he's a good runner, but like I don't think of him as a great runner. So then for him to win and beat,
I don't know. I would
I
say
mean,
I
maybe I'm not thinking about him correctly.
I didn't not see this coming. Like,
Okay.
Hmm.
I feel like if you've been watching his results, especially over the last couple years, you've seen like peaks of it and you're like, I think he's going to be insane. And I
All
feel
right.
like he's like getting to that moment in his career where you're like, no, 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 like he's real.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, filed under immigration to America is wonderful. You can just slot in Zohair Talbi, who I'm like, yeah, he's our guy. I'm curious how it felt to watch all the American ladies pack up. I was like, oh, look, they're all working together. That's nice.
Yeah. I only saw the results, but you love to see it.
Hmm.
But also you can imagine that like it's definitely not planned. You're not like searching out other Americans, like looking at all of those names, like Emily, Amanda, Annie, Susanna, Emily Venters, like they're looking at Helen and Sharon, and then like they happen to end up together. But like
Together.
those are all women who are like looking to go for the top. And then it's like kind of cute after the fact when like the results shake out and they're all clustered together, but they all definitely want to win one of those days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I saw that Natasha Rogers had to pull out. She's had some pain in somewhere. I don't know where it was, but it makes me wonder if she's going to have to pull out of Boston.
Oh. Hmm.
I wouldn't worry about that until 2 days before the race. We
Yeah.
still have
Good
plenty
We
of
got
time.
some.
good
We got
point. I
time.
guess it just depends on what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
But she's
Yeah.
not
It's
a
always,
she's not a dropper though. You know what I mean? Like girlfriend
Yeah.
doesn't drop. She
okay.
finishes.
No,
So
she's a
that's
tough one.
yeah, that's why it was surprising to me. Have we talked about this before though? Because obviously this race you did this weekend, it's not the same because you were, doing a workout, but like somebody was posted a video of Dakota in the New York half and like looking and smiling and doing the things that she does. Where are you in races? Like, do you hear or are you
Um, yeah. I mean, you do. It just like depends on like kind of who it is and how
like
you're
if you
feeling in the
recognize the
moment.
voice?
Not necessarily, because I feel like you can tell when people are yelling your name if they have some level of like familiarity with you
Hmm.
versus
Yeah.
like this is their first time hearing your name and they're saying it because maybe someone else said it. But like
Yeah.
if there's even like an ounce of like they recognize you or like we might have met before, like they appreciate it when you like acknowledge them. And it
Oh.
also like makes you a little less tense for the moment. It makes
Hmm.
the crowd a little happier. So like I feel like those are like nice little mental power ups if you like actually engage with the crowd versus just like, you're feeling bad, head down, you're just kind of like not ignoring their cheers, but like when you're not engaging with them, they're not as helpful.
Hmm.
I love that perspective. I'm so glad to know that. It's funny because when I cheer at like Chicago for instance and I bop around and all the top women I'm like screaming everybody's names. I've interviewed probably most of them. At least the American women. And there's always like the random spectators who are there for like, they might have like a kid they're watching that's pretty fast and like sort of towards the top of the sub elites or whatever and they're like, how do you know all these people? Because like I'm cheering in the way that you're
Yeah.
saying, like with
Yeah.
this
No,
like
that was
vigor.
literally me and our Brooks sports marketing person and Alafine watching Boston last year because
Yes.
obviously we know all of the top women. So we're
Yes.
cheering for them like they're our friends because they're
Yeah.
our friends.
Buddies.
And someone next to us is like, how do you know them?
Yeah.
Like, those are my coworkers.
Yeah, literally. That's always so fun.
I've been accused of
Mhm.
that before, course side, and some random man will be like, "How do you know all these men's names?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"I
like, what's
just
going on
spend
Yeah,
way
here?
it's
too
like a
much
little
time
suspicious.
thinking about this sport. Don't worry,
Yeah.
don't let me bother you here."
Yeah.
Oh man, we have a freshman female who won 2 NCAA titles. The fact that last track season went all the way to September, and then there was cross country, and then NCAA cross country championships means that like
Yeah.
at some point athletes are going to get tired. But it is this like you can only race who's there, and when you win, if you wind up and close out the last 3 laps accelerating. I thought Allison did a nice job also laying out the split progression that I sort of could tell when watching the replay of the race. But Jane Hendegren is just like pulling away. I don't know how I would feel if I was her brother, who's also a very good runner and led
Uh,
the NCAA 5K. But you're like, I'm trying very hard here. I'm sure he has
Yeah.
like quite a bit of experience, like knowing that he'll be in the shadow of his sister, even though he's running at an elite level. But yeah, it was impressive.
that's it. The sibling dynamic is interesting. I feel like I've interviewed a lot of siblings recently, like people who have a sibling who also runs at a high
Mm.
level. Like Olivia Markozich, I just had her on,
Oh yeah.
and I don't think her sister runs pro, but like they both ran at Notre Dame. And then Megan Saylor, who placed third at CIM, her sister also runs
Oh yeah.
pro. Gracie Morris, she has a twin brother that runs pro. Like there's a lot of people, and that would be really hard if you were like so good at something, but your sibling was just like
Really,
better.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Josephus Lyles is a good sprinter. He
Oh
just
yeah.
happens to be related to Noah Lyles.
I know. You're like,
Right.
huh.
That's tough. Like,
It's like
cause
they took the same
yeah.
DNA and mixed it. A/B testing. One is definitely faster. You're just like, okay, here we
Yeah.
are.
And like
I
you would be
mean,
the name that everybody knew in the family if that wasn't your brother.
have you seen there's an
That would
old
be hard.
school like ESPN commercial where this guy gets off the plane and it's like he goes up to the limousine driver and it says like Michael Jordan and he's like, "Oh, that's me." And this guy's like, "Aw." And then like it
Yeah.
happens throughout his life. So it's like the number of times it says like Lyles and you're like, "Yeah, it's me." And you're like, "Huh." It's something you're
Hmm.
like,
I
"Yeah, you're
feel
thinking
like
of."
the only mm, like siblings that come to mind immediately are the Manning brothers because I feel like they were both so good
So good.
Yeah.
that if
But
you're
I
like,
feel
"Oh
like
yeah,
Peyton was a
Manning,"
little
and
bit
you're like,
better.
I know, I feel like Peyton might have a hair more recognition name-wise, but, like, you don't not know who Eli Manning is, and
No,
you know
yeah,
he's
and he
also
won
an
Super
incredible
Bowls. Yeah.
quarterback. Yeah.
But also they have a third brother, Archie.
Oh. Did he
And
play football?
he did.
Now you're getting into like who promoted themselves
But wait.
better.
Oh,
You're like, who did a better, whose commercials were better? I mean,
I think
I think
Well,
Peyton's
I
more
think of
commercials are
both of
dominant.
pretty
them
good.
together, I think
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
why because they also have, like, a show together, which is,
Yeah.
like, good move for the brand because now you don't have to remember one over the other.
Okay, but the runners, the Whitaker sisters,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
both Olympians.
I'm glad they do different events.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
I mean, it's like a little bit of space. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of brothers. Yeah. Colin Solomon just won. We can talk about the men's 3K.
I was gonna say, did
He
he
also,
win?
who? It's exciting. It's very exciting. I'm curious of, okay, Lindsay, I'm not sure if you've won. You have time right now to go watch the men's 3K. And if you
Watch the
haven't
entire race, come back in
watched,
10 minutes.
yeah, watch the entire race. What I like is on
I like how you
YouTube.
just know that I haven't watched it.
Well, yeah, I looked at your face and I was like, she doesn't look like someone who watched one of the most exciting races of the NCAA indoors. I just love NCAA indoors because they do well, and outdoors. They get the races up really fast. So even if you miss
Mhm.
them, I would take issue if you're listening to this and you're the person who makes the thumbnails for those videos. I think you could do a little bit more ambiguity. I would appreciate because they'll be like the men's indoor 3K. And then you're like, oh, I need to not look at the image because
Mm.
they don't get that I'm going to watch this not having seen the
Oh,
results.
they're giving it away.
They sometimes give it a little away.
Yes. I don't like that.
But Erika, this was an interesting, I feel like it shows my maturity. I watched the 3K and I was like, I know exactly who caused the drama and I don't like that guy. So I saw it and I was like, that's Marco's fault. That is
No!
not okay. So, but this is the beauty
Leave
of
Jersey boy
replay.
alone.
I forgot where the loyalties lie. So, Lindsay, there is a trash talking, braggadocious, confident runner in the NCAA.
He's good for the sport.
He's great for the sport.
Oh,
Marco
okay.
Langan,
Who
he
is it?
gives Marco Langan. He gives great interviews. Like, you know, he runs fast at BU indoors in the winter, and a lot of athletes do. And he's like, I'm the fastest athlete God put in the NCAA this season. And you're like, whoa, that's a quote. That is a quote and a half.
Oh, okay. I'm looking him up right now.
He clearly wants
It's
it.
so good.
And he made
He looks like Jeremiah from The Summer I Turned Pretty in that picture.
Okay, wow.
Agree, Erika?
I didn't watch that show.
Oh, come on.
Not my thing.
We're gonna have a relay spinoff that Lindsay.
You like how I just assumed that she had watched it? I just assumed.
Yeah, which is wild. I did not get on that ship.
Oh man.
Okay, carry on. Sorry, go.
I'd caught wind on social media that there was some bumping, there was some physicality in the final lap, and I went in with a biased view and was like, Marco clearly pushed my boy Hobson Samuel to the side, and then Hobson Samuel breaks free from a box, uses his body to, you know, go on and win his 4th NCAA title, and all was right in the world. And then I go about my day and go back to social media and see that Hobson Samuel was in fact disqualified, which brought me to be like, I had a strong point of view, but I watched it on YouTube and I was not an official watching inside the stadium. I don't know how many times you watched this, Erika, but where
No,
your
it's like
mind
on a
was.
loop right now.
Okay, yeah.
Because I like still couldn't decide because
was convinced. And then I
Yeah.
went back and watched and was like, I see what they're saying by the fact that Hobson Samuel was sitting. It's a crazy order
I
of
don't
events
know
too.
if I like agree with the
Yeah.
DQ, honestly, because there was a lot going on. I don't know, the more I watch that like on a loop, the more I still don't think Marco is in the wrong. But Marco is trying to pass Hobton after Colin is already in front.
Yes.
And Hobton is trying to hold off Marco's challenge, and that's the first contact, is Hobton kind of pushing Marco to the side instead of getting past, which, like, yes, Marco did not have the space to cut in, but also, like, it's like, do you think he did or not? Because he was kind of coming in up to Colin's shoulder, but that's kind of where, like, Hobton was existing, so, like, you can't do that. So then Hobton's, like, defending his space, but defending it with his arms, which you cannot do. You cannot put your arms in front of you. You cannot
can't even
touch
do
the
that in
runners on
soccer.
either side and just push everybody out of your way. If you're gonna defend your space, you have to use your shoulders and the rest of your body. So, like, I can see why he got DQ'd because he was, like, putting his hands out as he was, like, pushing into that space that he thought was rightfully his.
He was like reaching like at a deli counter, like, that's my sandwich. He was like,
Yeah,
whoosh.
he's like, nope, that's my spot, and was like literally pushing them to the side, which like you can't do. But there is like a question of like whose space that was.
And that's what makes it fun, you know?
Yeah.
But I really had to go back and like rewrite the script because I saw an interview with Marco on social media and he's like, why are you asking me about a DQ? I'm not even here.
Honestly, top 3 interviews ever.
Yeah. And I was like, why is the guy who caused all the ruckus getting so many accolades? And then I was like, wait, Peter, you've literally, you have the script opposite. So there we go. You know,
Yeah,
he's a good dude. I hope he continues to. I mean, I love NCAA racing. And then sometimes you go from NCAA to pro and the people who were like in the mix talking trash, like just are not able to sort of be in the same spots. So,
yeah. I mean, like, I thought he was just kind of more of like a very entertaining character in the sport. And I'm like, sweet, we have a villain this season, but like, he's not actually like problematic. So like, this is fun. But then he got second in the 5K and I was like, oh, actually, he's like good.
It's awesome.
Because like everyone can run fast at BU. but, like, following
Yes,
it up with,
exactly.
like, podium at NCAA is like, "Okay, now we can talk."
I'm
It's
intrigued by
exciting.
this kid. I was
You
deep
should be. He
diving.
has fan pages, which is how I found out who he was because one of his fan pages followed me, and I was like, "Who is
Who
this
is
man?"
this?
And I was like, "It's some kid at Nova."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like
Dead.
the tats, the earrings, the big cross necklace. I'm like, what's going on with this kid? I want to know
I
more.
know, it
Jersey
makes it
guy at
exciting.
Nova, it's, like, such a vibe.
Such a
Yeah,
vibe.
exactly.
So
But this
good.
is the yeah, he's a senior. I should look up how much eligibility he has left. Like, I want more I want this storyline to, grow, and if he
Mhm.
graduates too soon, it will be like, "Well, shoot."
Also, let's not forget Habtem randomly, like, runs half marathons, like, during
Well,
the year.
yeah, yeah.
Let's
Really?
not
Um,
forget this man does so many side quests outside of NCAA running.
Wow.
yes.
We
I
love
mean,
the
that was
range.
oh, wow. And they said on the broadcast that I mean, to really rewind the tape, he wanted to do Houston last year, but
Mhm.
he had finished NCAAs with one shoe, and so that sort of, like, threw off his ideal training. That was the one where
That'll do it.
yeah, despite the softness of that grass, it threw off his they're like, "Maybe not the smartest." So then that led to this year and him running so well at Houston and being like, "Yeah, hey, guys, I'm fit." I don't know. NCAA indoors is like a super fun side quest in the world. It's like, you know, I could see why it gets held up sometimes, like when Oregon wins and I see the content around like the rings they get and like
Yeah.
all the you're like, "Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's like an NCAA title." But like it's sort of the minor NCAA title. But like it's still super fun.
Mm.
Um it's one of my favorite like sit back with a cup of coffee and just crank through all the races. Lindsay, this could be your gateway drug to loving indoor track.
I don't not love indoor track.
No,
It's
no,
just like,
you don't love indoor track. You like indoor track, and that's
oh,
totally fine,
okay, okay.
but, like,
Peter wants you to love it.
I know. I find US indoors, which happened a week ago, I watch some of the clips, and I'm like, "Oh, man." I wanna say this respectfully. I feel for the people at the back of the fields because they're, like, really hanging on to a like, on the roads, it would be more of, like,
Yeah, you're spread
I'm used to
out
the
and
roads, but, like, I'm like, "Man, it's so cool these people made US indoors," but they are, like they earned a sufferfest. They're, like, getting
Yeah.
blown out
Well,
the
it's also
back, and
such
I'm
a
like, "Damn."
small track. So, like, if
Yes.
you're 20 seconds back on a 400
Mhm.
meter track, it's still a big gap, but it's less than a lap.
Right.
20 seconds on an indoor track is like you are about to get lapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, it just looks different.
But speaking of being in the back of the pack, let me
Ooh,
just like brush off more
good transition.
indoor knowings that I have. I also just interviewed Lindsay Butler and she was like seated last. Like she was like the last one in to make the 15 and she was third. So,
Damn. So that
you
can
know,
happen.
some of those people that are, going in, you're thinking they might be almost a lap back are actually fighting for a top finish. So, yeah,
Yeah.
anything can
Yeah,
happen.
there's just this tier of athlete that can it's just, like, on the edge of making USAs or
Right.
maybe making it that gets, in my experience, very ignored, particularly
Right.
by the road running world. They're like, they'll name some road runner and be like, "He's, like, one of the best runners in America," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, he's pretty good, but, like, there's a bunch of guys who can run, like, 1:46 for the 800 that no one knows their name." Like, it's
Mhm.
just, like, anonymous city, and
You
you're
just
like,
never know what's
"That's
going to happen,
so
though.
nasty." Well,
Mhm.
I appreciate you should be a sports psych, Linz.
Well, I
You're
mean,
gonna be
I
like
I always just think back to Kira because I'm like, she was with this wave of women. There was like all these women running like 2:35, and I was like, okay, yeah, but like you're on that like outside of like I'm not gonna really make it as a pro. And then Kira was like, well,
here we
let
go.
me show you what I got here. Let me go break an American record.
This is
So
where the internet is helpful because people like to remind anytime that story gets too big about Kira, people who know the backstory are
They
like,
know
don't forget how
her.
close she was to Molly
I
Huddle
know.
back in the
I
day.
know.
Like,
I know.
let's not lose sight of that
100%.
raw talent. So,
But I think the
yeah.
vast majority of people didn't know that about her.
Oh no,
Right? You know,
it's better to be
it's like
flat.
when
Yeah.
everybody called Molly Seidel a barista who
Yeah.
I literally just had this combo with someone like a week ago, and it's like everyone loved this random. It was literally like plucky barista makes Olympics. And it's like,
Yeah.
hello? You
Sure.
mean multiple time NCAA champion? She's been running the game
Just
since
ignore
Foot
Foot Locker.
Locker.
Just
Yeah,
ignore it.
like
Just
what
ignore
are we talking about here?
it. Yeah.
But it is funny,
You can see
and
him in the
whatever
newsroom being
reaches
like,
the masses.
I hear you saying a generational talent ascends in a new event. I raise you barista.
Right.
Going to the Olympics. Like,
They're
that's
just leaving out
something
the
I can
part where
sell.
like this was not her first day running. Same with Kira. It's like random mom sets a record, and you're
Yeah.
like, not random.
Not random at
No,
all.
I know.
She's been pretty
Those
good.
are fun, but
Like,
I can remember the first time I watched that video. Was there even a video, or am I making that up? Like, she ran a 5K on a track during the
yes,
pandemic, and I was
and
like,
like posted a video, and
and
everyone was
yeah,
like,
exactly.
"What is this?"
And you're like, random mom runs 15:02. Like, no, this is,
Not a
they
random
obviously
mom.
marked it like 100,
Yeah,
200 meter. Or I mean, I don't even know. You'd have to go further. They missed a
yeah.
lap, fine. Wait, did you listen to Molly Seidel on Alexi Pappas's podcast?
No.
It was a good interview, and she said something that I thought was interesting, which was sort of like the corollary, the other side of the coin of this like rapid ascension in marathoning. She is, at least Molly's very good at framing things at
Mm-hmm.
different times in her career. She'll like come up with a frame for every podcast. Currently, she's framing it as like, she ascended so fast in the sport, Olympic medal in her second marathon, that then when things got tough, she didn't really have like any framework to catch herself. Which is like maybe a little simplistic, but I thought it was a nice way to put it, of like, she didn't really
I
grind
mean,
her
she like
way.
stepped into the marathon, and like all she knew was massive success.
Yeah.
So like it would be harder to then fail and be like, I didn't realize that was like a thing that could happen, because
Yeah,
it's
like, this is
never
awful.
happened before.
Why do you guys do this?
Literally on,
Yeah.
on the top.
No, it's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah. And then you forget or don't leave out the third marathon, which is that New York, where she sets the course record,
Went
American course
super
record,
well. Yeah.
ran super well. Still, in hindsight, admits that she was struggling with disordered eating. And so you're like, shoot to the moon, and then where do you go from there? And you're like, okay, yeah, I can see why this person moved on from that event. But
Yeah.
anyways, it was a good interview, and I was impressed by Alexi's handling of it. It was nice.
You love that.
Yeah. I just want to talk about how D3 is really in the spotlight. Everyone was paying attention to D3 men's indoor running, and we can just leave it at that. We don't need to go into the details of why. The engagement on the social media posts around Division 3 indoor 5K, which at a time in my life was my most like cherished event, like the indoor D3.
Like
I was a
specifically
D3.
D3 5K.
I was a D3 runner, and I was like, maybe, I could make it to nationals. Maybe my friend could finish on the podium. So I'm just glad to see that the D3 indoor 5K podium is getting all of its flowers. We don't have to go into the details.
Wait, we need to get
flowers is crazy.
let's get Noah Droddy on the phone. We need to have him call in. Yeah. But for people wondering, there's a guy that won the 5,000 that has been admitted to doping. Or
No.
not admitted, but there's
admitted is a strong word.
Yeah.
There have been some very strong allegations against a particular individual who happened to have success at this most recent D3 national championships. And, we don't know anything for certain, but people are kind of up in arms because there is quite credible allegations and potentially evidence. So the powers at will hopefully do something, but it appears there is some frustration with those powers also not being exercised for no particular reason. So yeah, if you want to fall down that rabbit hole, it's infuriating and concerning on a lot of levels, but it makes for an entertaining comment section. Unfortunately, if the allegations are true, robs a bunch of kids of an NCAA experience that like they should have had, but
Right.
we want clean sport at the
Right.
end of the day. I feel like it should be mentioned that there are like you shouldn't take things like in general that you don't need, and no one needs performance enhancing substances. They're not medically necessary, and every time you take something that's not medically necessary, you're like risking your literal health, which
Yeah, I mean
also
Yeah.
makes
that's
me really sad when it's like people that are that young because you're like you have your whole life ahead of
Your whole
you and you're like
life.
messing with your body chemistry like for what? Literally for what? For like a
for a
moment?
Division 3 5K championship, which
Yeah.
will redefine your life. I mean, when
I mean, if you're gonna get into that, I mean, we can talk about all the people taking thyroid medicine and all the things that are
all the
taken.
things, but I mean, yeah, when I see that the Division
Erica's
3
Erica's
5K
lips
time
got tight.
13:35 for
Yeah.
the indoor 3K for I'm like, "Oh, things have gotten crazy." Yeah, I don't know, it really bends your brain because it's not
It's
that us
wild.
D3 athletes look down on you D1 athletes, but you know.
Right. I mean,
We
it's
were
definitely
like
not a good look.
yeah, we were like, "Those D1 runners, they do it for all sorts of tainted reasons. We have love of the game." And now you're like, "Oh gosh, love of the game is we've run out of love of the game." We
Doping for
have
the love of the game
yeah,
is just like literally not a sentence that could ever be true. Because like if you're
doping
doing
for
it for
love
the
of the
love of the game,
game.
you would never dope.
Send this kid straight to the enhanced games.
I know. There we
Pass and
go. Yeah,
go.
ship them up. You're like, "We
Do
have
not
a pro
collect
contact for
200.
you."
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, do
you're
not
out of
collect
here.
200. Go talk to
Actually,
Fred.
please pay us 200 to pay for drug tests.
Oh
Right.
gosh. Drug tests are
Oh,
really
it's bad.
expensive, I've come to
They are.
understand, and it's the type of thing that needs to be done really well. What is it, like, the whole trail world is sort of circling a reality that, like, if you're gonna actually do I mean, in competition testing a lot, let alone out of competition testing a pool, like,
Mhm.
trail is like, "Uh-oh, that doesn't sound like it's
It's
gonna happen anytime
expensive.
soon." Yeah, it's real to do it well, it has to be done well. I mean, last week you told us all about, availability windows. That's like yeah, people are working hard.
A
So
lot of logistics.
I can't imagine trying to track down the trail athletes either
Oh my
because they're
gosh.
going on like 6-hour training runs in the middle
Totally,
of a mountain range.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
good luck finding
on the
them.
You said
daily.
you'd be here at 6 a.m. They're like, "I was hoping to be there at 6 a.m. I
Yeah.
did not make
Yeah.
it back in time."
It's like, actually, there was a bear on that trail. There
Right.
was an avalanche on this trail. We actually just took a wrong turn. And it's just
Uh,
like,
Yada, yada, yada.
little
Yeah.
unpredictable.
Lindsay, just so you know, you don't have to go so into indoor track that you become a fan of Division 3 indoor track. That's okay.
Okay.
That's like
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
not that would
Thank
be
you.
a, like
I
yeah,
appreciate
that's like
that.
a season 6 kinda thing.
Yeah.
Seasons. We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
We would be remiss to not mention the second fastest women's marathon of all time that I
Yes.
apparently was intentionally run as a world record attempt, but I feel like there could have been more buzz around this world record attempt, considering it was mentioned after the fact that this was always intended to be a world record
Uh-huh.
attempt, and it was like, where was the hype train 3 weeks leading up to this? So everyone didn't just wake up and go, "What happened?"
And what did she run? 212?
Oh,
You'd
no.
think. As Allison Wade said in her newsletter,
Oh, yeah.
at what
Oh,
tier
I
of
forget. I
time
forget
would you feel
209. I forget
yes.
209 is the supposed world record.
She ran 2:10:51, which, like, there are a lot of men
Yeah,
who are on their journey to run sub 2:11, and
yeah.
she is ahead of them on that journey.
It's just the whole I just can never I don't know what to be excited about and what not to be excited about. I just gotta
I'm
be
excited
honest.
about this one,
Oh,
and
good. Okay,
well, I
tell
was
me more.
chatting with my boyfriend yesterday because, like, we actually had that whole conversation that Allison was writing about this morning on the, like, what
Oh,
is the
okay.
time that's not suspicious? Because my whole
Mm.
point was, like, times like that seem so It's not that they're physically impossible, and, like, I think women in general, there will be a woman soon enough
Sure.
who can run that fast, like, consistently, and, like, that's just the direction of, like, evolution. But when I think of, like, the best marathoners, I typically tend to think of, like, the champions. So I'm thinking of, like, Paris Jepchirchir, I'm
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
Safan Hassan, I'm thinking of, like, those types of women who are winning the Olympics, they're winning majors. They're winning them in good times, but they're running, like, 2:17. Maybe even a 2:14 here and there, but, like, that's really, really fast, and they're winning everything, but that's still, like, not crazy, so then it feels weird when, like, someone who hasn't won something like that randomly runs, like, 6 minutes faster than Safan
Right.
Hassan, because it's, like,
Oh.
it doesn't feel right. Because like, those are,
Yeah.
like, my Mount Rushmore, so how are you
Yeah.
blowing my Mount Rushmore out of the
It does.
water? Like, who are you? How are you doing this? It doesn't make sense to me, but I will give her grace because she has run, like,
Okay.
63:30 for a half, and the rough rule of thumb for your marathon PB is, like,
Yeah.
double your half, add 5 to 6 minutes. It's right in that range, so, like,
Huh.
at least it's on par with what she's
Right.
done previously. She's 28, she's shown some good stuff, so, like, for now, I'm here for it, and, like,
Okay.
if we can rewrite that record sooner than later, I feel like everyone will feel a little better, so, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it
That's a
was just
fair.
kind of out of the blue.
Yeah. I
I mean,
truly
in her
didn't know it
defense, it was
happened.
her debut, so that's why she didn't have a marathon time before this.
Got it. Okay.
Oh,
That's a heck
and
of a
it's
way
Wow.
to
it
enter the
really cuts
marathon
both ways. You're
stage.
like, I want to see a body of work, and then I'm like,
But you don't know what you don't know. It's her first
yeah,
marathon. So, like,
yeah.
what is she capable of?
Yeah.
I just
I
wish
mean,
we
it's
could.
on par with her half, so, like, I don't
Yeah.
feel super weird about it in this moment.
I just wish we could do away with records that are not clean. Like, can the 209 just not be the record anymore? Why? You know what I mean? Like, if she
This
wasn't
is like one
clean,
of
can
those
it just be
things.
gone? Or is it
There
that
should be
there's
a
no
name for
proof
something that if you
There's
click
no
on it,
proof that
it
she
just
was,
gets
like, quote,
way more.
unquote, "doping" during that
during that?
marathon,
Right.
or they would
Yeah.
have already, like, because they have, like, vacated people's results for the entirety of their careers, if not backdated a couple years, depending on what they tested positive for.
Okay.
But in her case, she tested positive for a masking agent, so there's no
So it's like,
grounds to then be like, "Oh, we're gonna void your results, we're gonna void your wins," because, like, they can't tell you what was in her system, so there's no
Mhm.
way to, like, gauge
yeah.
it and, like,
Mm.
come up with an appropriate punishment to backdate it for. That's why it's
Interesting.
just, like, that one was icky.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Unsolved Mysteries, which is what I've been watching
Yeah.
recently. It's so
Okay.
Yes.
unsatisfying. Like, the
Oh.
entire show is called Unsolved Mysteries, and you get to the end of every episode, and you're like, "What do you
Wait
mean?
a
It's
second.
they didn't finish the case?" And it's like,
I was
that's the entire
expecting.
point of the show. But
Oh,
it's the
that's
same as
so
this where
true.
it's like, they lay out for an hour, they lay out all the evidence. They're like, "We have this guy on tape, we have his fingerprints, we have his DNA, we have 3 witnesses saying he did it. Case unsolved." And you're like, "What?" And then it just starts a new episode. And I feel like that's where we're at right now.
I could never watch you're over there watching that while I watch Love is Blind, okay? It's just like, this is who we are. We are who we are,
Yeah,
Erica.
it is what it
Oh,
is.
I did get a message from someone saying, I just wanted to support you in your desire to do your series on reality TV people
yes.
they were like, you should follow your heart, Lindsay. So I
You
just want you
should.
okay, I just want you guys
I
Yeah.
to
just said
know
I'm personally abstaining from any episodes with people I don't
you
like.
don't like. I did fill out a form on Tasha Adams' website. I'm gonna have to get a little more aggressive,
You're
but
gonna have to get really aggressive.
I'm starting to fill out forms on websites, so we've got a starting place.
Making progress.
Maybe you could
Yes.
also just like tell some white lies around who your audience is. I mean, I think your audience is the right audience, but
Oh, I
Yeah.
think so. I think a lot of these moms listening to not that it's all a bunch of 40-something moms, but like I think a lot of these people are watching.
it is all
It's not
some 40
you're not
something.
gonna lose listenership over this
Yeah,
series.
you would just choose not to listen. Like you would just be
Yeah.
like, because when I do series, I always still keep the Friday episode. So you're always going to get a pro on Friday. And so if that's what you're here for, you're going to get that once a week. But I like to sprinkle in
I
the
like a little
series.
variability because like
Yeah.
pro updates can be great, and they can also be like, well, this person is like not ready
Yes.
to reveal what's going on. So like
I like
I
the
like that you just have a
variability.
wild card.
I'm going to launch with Jimmy just for Erika.
Perfect.
A lot of people run marathons. They announced that Boston's going to be 6 waves instead of 4, like
Okay.
spread
What
out
does
the
that even
field.
mean?
Yes, the
I
pro
You'll
saw
was
be
that. I
like,
was
done.
like, what
I
is
thought we were one wave. I was told we were one wave. I've
Erika,
never
you'll
known
have been
anything
done
different.
for hours by the
Yes.
time wave 5 starts.
So when they fire the gun, not everyone gets to go.
Well, I know that. I know we have a delay.
Erica's like, I know that they delay between the pro women and all you slows, but then I figured they just let
For the record, Peter's
they
not quoting me.
I'm not quoting in any way.
We
Allegedly
call us we use the term normals, okay?
normals.
That's what we are. That's what I am. You're a little not normal, Peter.
But this is brutal.
I'm a normal.
The road is narrow enough that they
It is
there's
really narrow on the
congestion at the
beginning.
front of every wave. So there were 4
Yeah.
waves. The fourth wave was the charity wave, and they realized even that like there's just too many humans trying to go down the road. So now they're gonna make it into 6
I mean, it's like
waves. Just
barely
trying to
a 2-lane road
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's small.
for those first few miles.
I was joking that it allows that they needed to create more space because people are taking so many selfies and they're like doing their dance parties and they're doing their side quests that like they just want to spread out the field.
Aren't they gonna like do away with that? Isn't that gonna go away?
I mean, when they put me in charge, it'll be out of this way, but I'm not in charge, and those are things I cannot control. So I know people who did like turned it into a dance party. Like we're doing synchronized choreographed dancing down the Boston. And I was like, all right, guys, this is funny. And then, of course, I get messages from people who are amongst them just trying their hardest. And they were like, it was sort of annoying and kind of in our way when they were spreading out across the road to do formations for the camera. And I'm like,
That
I can see
isn't, yeah.
yeah, I can
Like
see
the
that.
dancing and having a good time, fine. But like obstructing other people, it's like,
I'm a big like waving to
move
the
over.
crowd. Like as
Yeah.
long as your hips are still moving fluidly forward and you're not impeding other
well,
people.
and if you're running with your friends in general in life, never run more than 2 across. I don't care where you are.
Oh,
I
no,
don't care
that's
if you
fair.
are in the middle of a fire road, in the middle of a forest, and there's not another human being besides you and your team of 20. Do not run 10 across. What is wrong with you people? Max
Oh,
2.
etiquette.
Well, it's also stupid because you can't talk. If you are 8 people across and you
Oh,
are
yeah.
talking, that 8th person at the other end is just like, what? What did you say? And it's like, this is not even like
isn't fun.
economical for communicating. Like
This isn't fun.
your little diamonds of 4 or little triangles,
Yes.
but you do not need to be more than 2 across at any point in your life. It's a bad habit. You should go to jail.
It is bad. That'd be
You're
amazing.
done.
Yeah. We got to get
You're
some
fired.
You're
run club
literally done.
leaders. We got to get some photos of run club leaders in jail because I read these accounts online of,
No, I hate it.
New York, Chicago, Philly, just masses of run clubs filling up.
And
all
if you're
the-
walking, like literally walking more than 2 across, prison.
Yeah. This is, sorry, locked up for ages.
Yes,
Because
this
that's
goes
crazy.
for the Greenway too. Oh my gosh. And while we're at it, do away with the retractable dog leashes. If you have
Oh
a
my God, they're the
retractable dog
worst.
leash, if you have a retractable dog leash, I automatically pass judgment that you are a lazy person.
Wait, tell me more. Why is the retractable?
That's not where I didn't know where
what's
this was
going on
but that's
here?
really
I mean,
funny.
Because I'm like, you can't just like pull your dog
Move,
and like,
yeah.
like you can't walk with it. Like, no, I am so anti retractable dog leashes. They make me so mad.
I buy that.
Yeah,
I just don't think people use them the way they're meant to be used. Like the whole point of it being retractable is you can adjust the length of the leash,
Yes.
but they always just leave it fully unretracted. And they're like, oh, I could make it shorter. And you're like, well, your dog is covering 4 lanes of traffic right now.
Yeah,
Can
the
you
whole
please
sidewalk
retract the leash?
is.
You walk with your dog's on the right hand side, and that dog stays right there. You don't. When there's lots of people around, you don't give them a
Are
lot
you a
of
dog owner,
leeway.
Lindsay?
My dog died.
I'm
No,
sorry.
I
Oh,
had
Peter.
no, it's fine. It's been a long time. My dog died
Okay.
like 3 years ago. I had a dog for like 14 years though. And I grew up with dogs.
I'm just
We
worried
just
that you would
haven't
be a little bit more free range than you're giving the grace to others.
If it's a good dog, I
Yeah.
don't mind
No,
it.
if
But
I
it's always
walk my dog,
crazy ones that are on retractable leashes.
yes, they're usually little ones. When I walk my dog, I'm a good dog walker. I follow the etiquette for sure.
No,
Now,
it's like the little ankle biters on a really
Yeah.
long leash that are just
Mhm.
like absolutely wreaking havoc on everyone.
or like
Oh,
crossing
man.
over and like making a bike rider crash. Like
They're
there's
like
just
making cyclists like, you know, swivel. They're
I
like
have not
tripping
been bitten,
babies.
but it's
Like,
close.
here are
You
the
know,
two
like,
people that need to be banned but from greenways. People that have dogs on retractable leashes, and cyclists that think that they are in like the Tour de
the Tour de France,
France
Tour de
yeah.
France, yeah.
on a busy greenway. Those are the
There are
two.
speed limits on greenways.
Yes.
Like
Oh.
literal speed limits, and they're
For a
going
reason.
faster than that.
Yes. Yes.
If you have a motor, you have a motor. It doesn't matter if it's an
But
e-bike.
even if you don't have a motor,
you have a
shouldn't
motorized
be going
vehicle on
over
a
20
green.
miles per hour.
Oh,
No,
yeah, 'cause-
like I don't get it. Cause like, especially on those paths, you'll see people walking their dogs, but like the one that scares me the most is like there's always like kids out learning to ride their bikes, which is cute and fun. And that is exactly the place they should be doing it, on like a bike path or a greenway where it's like there's no cars and like it's
Right.
relatively safe. So like,
Yeah.
but they're not good. This is quite literally day 2 on their
Right.
tricycle with wheels. Like they are figuring it out. So like you can almost guarantee they're going to swerve into the wrong lane.
yeah.
There's like a 60% chance they're going to tip over randomly. So like you should not be going that fast.
No.
Like
And
even if I'm in the middle of like a rep, if I can't get
Mhm.
around them, I will stop, because I'm like, what is
Aw.
the point of running over a
No,
child?
yeah,
But
you
then
do
if you're
not.
cycling at 65 miles an hour, like
You
you are
can't do it.
going to hurt somebody.
Absolutely.
Or if
And
your
as a pro
retractable
athlete, we
leash
don't want.
is
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No,
got to take care of
it's also
yourself.
like spring, and I feel like spring is always like new bike season. So just like
Mm.
there's the little
get ready.
goof slings, ski slings, whatever you call them, between them
Oh,
and the
those.
new kids on their bikes. Just be careful out there. I know everyone's excited to be outside again, but like there are lots of young creatures figuring out how to stay on their feet.
This is
I
why
just
you
think.
need the old men like there's always this old man on a bench on a greenway, and he's like known
Yeah.
for being that man on the bench. And he should be the mayor of the greenway who can
Should
keep
be
the bench
everybody in
police.
line.
Yeah.
Yes. Like
Flag on the
young
play.
man. Yes.
I just want the
Uh,
runners. I want the listeners of Relay to abide by like the reality of the world, not sort of the fictitious like rules of the road. So whenever I'm just too old to like go through life as a runner being like, I have the right of way to be here, even though you see the kids swerving,
I
and like
literally, yeah,
I
like
want to
use your brain.
I just try to give, like when I see cars coming, I'm like, oftentimes there is a stop sign, I go around the outs. I'm just like, I don't want the mental stress of like, did they actually see me? Did they see me? I mean, they seem like they see me, but like if they didn't
No,
actually see
I
me and then
always
they
just
turn
slow
off,
down and let the car go ahead. And it's like,
Yeah.
you have the
Aw.
right of way. And it's like, why would I take that chance? It's
Yeah.
quite literally a car. Also,
It-
it's 2 seconds in the grand scheme of my training. I do not think this is going to tank my season by being a little cautious.
Yes.
Oh.
Not
And
worth
no
it.
one's yelling at me,
Yeah.
because that's
It's just
also
like,
scary. You do not start beef with people in cars, especially trucks. You never
out
know
there
who's having a
running.
bad day.
trying to be relaxed.
Mm-mm.
The opposite of that is exerting my right of way, getting
Yeah.
honked at, almost getting hit, and then having like a adrenaline spike through my head. I'm just like,
Everyone should
just chill.
watch Rage, I think
Oh.
is what it's called. It's literally just a movie about road rage, but it's so intense. It's so
Oh,
good.
dear.
And like the entire movie happens because this woman was like a little distracted and like talking to her son in the back seat and accidentally cut off this man who was having the worst day of his life.
Mhm.
Ooh.
And he absolutely loses it on her in a road rage incident. And that's the entirety
Oh,
of the
dear.
movie, but it was so good.
All
What's the
right.
show? What's the show Ali Wong is on? Beef. Have you guys seen Beef on? I
Oh
think it's
yeah. It's
that's
so
so
good.
funny.
It's
It's so
so good.
good. And she
Oh,
like
it's
it
petty
all
too.
starts with
It's
this like,
really.
oh, it is heavy, but it's
No, I
funny.
said
It's like
petty,
dark.
but also
Oh,
heavy.
petty. Yeah, but it's funny too.
Oh, very good.
It all starts with a road rage incident though. There's usually
Wild.
there's a certain type of person that gets road rage. There's a
I
certain
mean,
type of person.
there's a lot going on there. Yeah. Oh,
All right, do we even have to pass off what we've listened to, what we've ingested?
what have you been
I think we
ingesting?
covered it.
We can wrap
I
it.
think we covered
I
a lot
did.
of these things.
I just started a new book, of course.
Mhm.
My
Yeah,
friends,
God.
Frederick
Did you finish all
Bachman.
4 from last week? Listeners
No.
are gonna start dropping off, be like, I can't handle it. I just feel
No.
inferior.
There's one book that I read fast, and other books,
Okay.
the other books I'm usually reading slow.
Okay.
I finished Dear Debbie. I'm reading My Friends by Frederick Bachman. You see that everywhere if you're like reading the popular books these days. No, the other books I'll be weeks before I finish them. It's just the one that I do fast. So yeah, hopefully next week I can give you an update on that one.
I just wanted to more do a moment. The internet was pointing out that when Michael B. Jordan won his Oscar, they immediately cut to Jesse Plemons from Friday Night Lights, his co-star from back in the
Oh,
day. And it was like, I mean, they cut to a
that's
lot of people,
awesome.
but
Yeah.
like they kind of like then looked at each other and you're like,
Oh.
because it's fun to remember that like the people at the mountaintop were like the guy you were cheering on over a decade ago in like a
Yeah.
cult classic TV show. So
I
that
do
was a
love
moment.
that.
We love
Yeah.
It's a
that.
great one.
And I saw this morning that Missy Copeland had a literal hip replacement in December.
Whoa.
And she
Whoa.
performed last night at the Oscars, which, like, Missy Copeland coming out of retirement, even if just for one day, is like a godsend because she's
Yeah.
incredible.
Wow.
But then it was like, and she had a hip replacement in December. It's like, she is retired. She has no reason to even like
No.
rush a recovery, let alone keep up her skills. And here she was a few months
Wow.
later, still looking like she never left the stage.
Oh.
We loved that.
Man, oh man. Yeah.
That's a big
There we
surgery.
go.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Yeah, that's hard for me to fathom. That's impressive. But you know, the world's most talented people. You're like, okay, if someone's
Yeah.
gonna do it. Yeah, there we go.
If someone's going to do it.
Yeah. Oh man. Fun friends.
All right.
Thanks for being here. Lots to cover.
Yeah.
There'll be more next week. Thanks so much.